but he would want to know that, well, if we consider that the creative act, if the creative act occurred, then all of this must be present prior to that creative act. Then in the I guess the reaching out for truth. Then what if the creative act never occurred? Then if the creative act never occurred, then what is the nature of reality then? It seems like that's a necessary question.
Yeah. If I gather your point, say even if this is all an illusion, there must be still some prior conditions for the illusion.
Yeah, if there's some prior condition, then what are those? And what is that condition?
Well, there would have to be a trickster. There has to be either a trickster or the possibility of something tricking us, and we must be susceptible to the illusion. Therefore, in the nature of man, he may experience the illusion and call it real. In that sense, man may have higher ideas within himself than were in this illusionary world. Right? Therefore, man would be gaining a prominence in nature beyond that which nature produced if nature is an illusion. Now you might say, but what he then would consider would be illusory. Oh yes, but it would be representing the conditions for it, and that must be real. Now that's one way.
Yeah. But then it brings me back to the question that I had last night, which is, it seems as though the system explains reality, given that man is present in it, and then it goes back to explain what we see.
Yes.
And then
That's right.
if it explains what we see, it explains only the appearances.
That's right.
And then
That's right.
If we are looking for the truth, it seems as though we cannot accept the truth that only explains appearances.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All of this reflection follows from a certain set of reasonings that start with the appearance. That's right.
Well, what the appearance is not the appearance is.
Yeah.
What is the reality behind the appearance?
Yeah. Let me see if I can show you something curious. Our culture, of which we're all part, we start our reflections with the appearances. And we try then to find out the condition for it, the rules that operate, principles or rules, to account for this appearance. And from that then we want to then reach a total picture, which we then can use with this total picture. We can then use this total picture to understand man's place in it. That's the way our culture works. In the Platonic tradition, that's not the case. In the Platonic tradition, it's this way. From man's highest and most profound experience, That's where they take off from, see. Given man's highest and most profound experience and insight, what does that say about the conditions for that? The principles and rules that must operate if that's true. See? Oh, then they get a total picture, and this then begins to be, right? If the total picture must then come back and be verified and make sense of man's highest experience. But see, it starts with man.
I know. So that system.
This is different.
That system has man at the center.
Yeah.
So then.
That's right.
And I was, well, if the system is only, if it's only true in relationship to man, if I am wanting to find, if I am searching for a reality that is prior to man, then it doesn't appear that I can find reality by means of this system.
Yeah, that's quite true, except for one thing. Suppose the highest experience discloses the nature of mind. And suppose the nature of the most profound experience and insight not only gives an insight into mind, but suppose in that insight you see there's no difference between mind and reality. Then what? Then what?
Well, I guess what I still would want to start at some point. I would, you know, when we started with the one, and then we went from the one to the many, and the many was predicated on the existence of a creation, but we haven't, at least in as I followed the presentation, we didn't establish that the creation actually occurred. We only assumed that it occurred is because man. We assumed that man is here. So the creation must have occurred. But if the creation didn't occur and man didn't occur, then what is the nature of reality?
That's right.
It seems
That's
as
right.
though
That's
we're
right.
still
That's right.
on the outside of that.
That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, that's that great statement attributed to St. Augustine when someone asked him, what was God doing before creation? He said, creating a hell for people like you who asked that question. But, you see, we can see in this system, the basic assumption is right here. That man, generic man, and there are some who are willing to explore these kinds of states of mind, so they then can make this identity. That's either there or it isn't. Sure.
Is that consistent with what was going on last night?
Pardon?
Last night we were talking about the soul. You had the moral part of the soul and a sort of continuum
Yeah.
part of the soul. Today we've got a model and a universe. Looks like you just stepped it up out of the soul into like something general. So you've got these qualities of, I guess, immortality or something, which are your forms. Then you've got these one and many, which are like your matrix or emergence.
That's right.
So
That's right.
So really,
Yeah.
what you've done is you've generalized from last night's lecture, right?
Yeah.
So you were talking soul. How does that? That's the soul. How do I get that back to mind?
Well,
The ordering process.
yeah.
Of mind?
That aspect of the soul, which we called eternal, which we called being,